Yeah.
When you see a man with traps, forearms, a man that's just exuding like masculine energy, you're like, I want to fuck him. When he's feminine, beta, just like, oh, just, I don't even know what he's doing.
What do you think about this concept? Because we have this debate. I had Rebecca Barrett on a couple days ago, and she was a former feminist. The fact that you like having big boobs and a small waist, there are people out there that don't believe that you truly have the agency to make that decision. And instead, you are only doing so because of, not my words, a patriarchy that is causing you to believe that you should like this.
I'm all about, trying to be an independent woman and feminism, but I'll be honest, when you have a good man that's providing, taking care of you, that's strong, that makes you feel safe, you're going to abide by him. Like any alpha female will submit to an alpha male if he's loving you correctly and doing his job right.
I don't mind the inclusivity. That's not a problem to me. What I mind is that you then telling me what I should be attracted to. You don't get to do that.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
You are absolutely get to tell me about people being disenfranchised and those people needing more inclusivity. I don't have a problem with that. What you don't get to do is tell me what I'm attracted to.
Absolutely.
You don't get to tell me I'm supposed. I like. It's funny because I got a League of Legends guys coming on. You're not supposed. You can't tell me to like League of Legends more than Grand Theft Auto. I like Grand Theft Auto. I'm a Grand Theft Auto guy.
Yeah.
You can't tell me I'm supposed to like soccer more than American football. I like American football. So that's the only issue that I have. And what I feel like is it's this belief that my heterosexuality or what I see as attractive as a woman is somehow some cultural construct that can somehow be morphed by images that I see on television, and nothing could be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Because studies have shown, again, Dr. David Buss, evolutionary psychologist. So it's these things that I'm supposed to believe that are cultural constructs, turns out exist in every one of these cultures that have nothing to do with each other. That means that these things exist in genetics, not in culture. And so that's very offensive for a lot of people to believe, because they want to believe that the only reason why I'm more, maybe more aggressive than my girlfriend, I want to go tackle people and play video games. The only reason why I want to do that is because of culture. It's not because of the fact that she may have, again, men on average have 17 times as much testosterone as women. It's so funny because the American Psychological Association, determining the differences between men and women, never point to hormones, ever. Like hormones are this dirty word. The fact that I
think it's all about hormones.
In that crazy. That's the reason why. The thing is, as a man, if you have 17 times as much testosterone as a woman, what's that going to do? It's going to make you more assertive, more aggressive. It's going to make you have, men on average have about 90% more upper body strength and 50% more lower body strength because of it, and would probably be more interested in casual sex. And if you go look, I don't know if you've ever talked to a girl who's taken anabolic steroids, one of the things I've heard them say, there's been reports of this, they say, I have an insane sex drive when I get on anabolic steroids. An insane sex drive. But the thing is, you don't have an insane sex drive. You have a guy's normal sex drive.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So like a woman will get her total test up to 700, maybe 400, something like that. Whereas a guy who's 19 is at 970.
Absolutely.
And all he's thinking about is just sex. And then this is the first time she's ever experienced it. And she's like, wow, I would consider having sex with random people. I was like, that's what it's like for a dude 7 days a week.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. No, I mean, I totally agree with you. Obviously, I take supplements and stuff. And yeah, it definitely switches up your sex drive. It's also going back to the whole Western thing you were saying too, when, women are saying, oh, I love the dad bod, and oh, it's great. Oh, I don't care. Shut the fuck up. Nobody likes the dad bod. I'm so sick of that whole theory. Nobody does. Get your ass in the gym. Take care of yourself. Like, that's what we want. It's primal, something genetic, hormonally inside you. Like what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
When you see a man with traps, forearms, a man that's just exuding like masculine energy, you're like, I want to fuck him. When he's feminine, beta, just like, oh, just, I don't even know what he's doing. You're like, no, that does not get me going. That does not make me want to fuck you. I mean, it's fundamentals from back in the day. And I don't know why as a society we bridged so far off of it. I mean, I feel like we had it right back in the Native American times.
Because it's not fair. That's why.
It's bullshit.
It's not equal. It's not fair. So the difference is, like, if you read the U.S. Constitution, it says you're endowed by your creator the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, not happiness. You are allowed the pursuit of happiness, meaning on the starting line, we should have equality, but at the finish line, meaning the equality of outcomes, we're not going to have equality. This is the reason why some people feel like it's unfair that you would have an easier time winning a bikini competition, or back in like 1995, getting hired at Hooters, because that used to be a big thing back then, but not anymore. But like back then, more attractive women would get hired, or today getting hired at Wet Republic or Tao Beach.
Yeah.
Those things are harder to get jobs at. And so other women would be like, well, you're discriminating me because of my physical appearance. But like the thing is, I don't go to the NBA and be like, hey, listen, why can't I play power forward for the fucking Lakers? Because I'm not 6'8" and I don't have a 42-inch vertical. I don't then sue them on a class action lawsuit for discrimination. I can't do the things that the job requires.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why that whole thing happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's really interesting. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to invite you on their podcast after what you just said. I think that's a really interesting, no, about the alpha and beta, and that is.
No, I mean, we talk about it all the time. I think that the stuff that you talk about in your podcast is perfect because you are sticking to your guns and you're going on that straight and narrow line. Like you've got it down. I mean, someone that I adore too, who I think is such a great person, Steve Fowler, with all of his Babes in Toyland events. I mean, they're phenomenal. The men and the people that come out to those events are absolutely amazing. I mean, they're masculine, they're alpha male. Like, I just think that now today in society and the way that things are, we're just catering towards all the beta people. And I think that the further we get away from that, the further that, we'll have this unity of male and female. I think that's why so many marriages and stuff are falling apart too. There's not a balance.
Androgyny, yeah, got it.
There's not a balance.
So what I try to do, because there's a lot of outraged people out there who throw out the red meat, is I really try to stick to the science. And if a man wants to be effeminate, if a heterosexual man thinks that doing that, I got this thing from Rebecca Barrett, and it was called transmaxing. And it's basically these men who go online and they dress up like women so that they can have more sex with women. Madness, but I've seen it before. If they want to do that, that's fine. I had a debate with Ruslan on the Purple Pill podcast, and he and I were debating the how religion fits in with dating and all this kind of stuff. And one of the things he said that I completely agree with, he goes, I can't change the entire world, but I am going to raise my kids a certain way, and they're going to look like fucking superheroes. He didn't say fucking.
Go.
Obviously, he doesn't cuss.
Let's go.
They're going to look like superheroes compared to the average people in the future. I have a coaching program. My coaching program is not Martin Luther King speaking on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. I can't change the world. My coaching program is Noah's Ark. A couple of y'all get to come on, and the rest of you, I'm sorry, we're going to watch the demise happen, because throughout history, the Overton window, meaning what we find acceptable, always shifts to the left. And in a lot of cases, it's a good thing. Like, for instance, I think the persecution of people, gay marriage 40 years ago was ridiculous. You don't lynch people or kill people because the gay people want to get married. It's ridiculous. That's shit that they do in Iran. The Overton window in 1982, if you said, hey, I'd like to propose a gay marriage act for federal protection for gay marriage, you get laughed, or 1962, you get laughed off the pulpit. You do that in 2023, you come out there and say, I'd like to get rid of gay marriage, federal protections on gay marriage, unless you're Clarence Thomas, which is he's actually said this, but unless you're Clarence Thomas, you're going to get laughed off the pulpit. The Overton window on that, and say marijuana, that's changed 180 degrees. But things tend to shift to the left. I don't think the world's going back to the way that it was. So a few of us get to live in neighborhoods together, and we get to raise our kids a certain way.
Yeah.
And they're going to look like fucking superheroes. That's the way I see it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
My kid's going to go to college already being able to read and already knowing how to do calculus.
That's what I mean, again, going back to my father,